Cool. Open that up. Bam. Hayden, what's going on? Matthew, what's up? Logan, actually, the person that were you on my live just a couple minutes ago, Logan?
Yeah.
Nah.
All right, okay. I see how you get big time. Okay, it's cool. You probably don't follow me and everything. See what happens when you get a couple holes in your belt? See how Logan treats you?
Oh my gosh. Nah, man, it's not like that.
A little bit of money, man. And they just nah, man. But Jorie, I don't know if he's on here. I don't see his name yet. I don't know if he's coming on as a phone number, but he's our special guest, and he's going to be going over a virtual wholesale, and he's actually in the Tulsa market. I know the perfect person that you need to connect with because he's out there, he's working, he's a hustler, and he's always looking for boots on the ground, man. So Samuel Green, look at Samuel Green's. You see that? Hold on, where you go? Oh, there you had the little photo, Sam. So this dude, he got his own little logo joint. Maybe look dope. Ramona, how are you doing? Ramona? Always a pleasure. I gotta put y'all together, man. That's how I can distinguish line from the back. Wow. Josh is on here. What's going on, family? Marcus was good. Michael, Fray, Shelly. All right, Jamesia. Yo, let me tell you something about Jamesia, man. Jamesia, a hustler, bro. She's doing all right. Let me Josh, what's up? Let me get Jorie. Yeah, is that him? Did he just pop in here? No, not yet. So our topic for the night is going to be virtual wholesaling. Dex, how you doing, brother? Is virtual wholesaling. Mo, how you doing? We are going to go over the surface level because we're going to talk about an hour. We're going to talk about an hour on how to virtually, how he's doing it, and how are you doing? Actually, let me meet everybody. How he's doing it, and how to set it up, right? But the exciting part is that I've twisted his arm and convinced him to actually come out and do a course. So he's actually going to do a virtual wholesaling course, and we're going to put that inside E2E, and it's absolutely free for you guys. Okay, so you're going to see that you guys that are on this program, I promise you, I am going to do everything. What's going on, Jorie? All right, my man is here. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure that this group at least has all the tools. Now, if you have the hammer and you have the nails and you choose not to use them, that's on you. But I also am getting David Shands, who you've seen on the screen before. Some of you guys know who David is. Some of you don't. If you don't, you should follow him. His name is David Shands on Instagram. It is at Sleep Is For Suckers. It's Sleep Is with the number 4 Suckers. And he took a $20 t-shirt brand. It's the same guy that you've seen on the call here. Same guy you've seen on the call. Oh, what's going on? Oh, look at Ramona. Okay. Say hi. So he took a $20 t-shirt and turned it into $1 million brand, and he's going to teach a branding course. He literally shot the first module, I think, on Monday, and he's shooting again tomorrow. So we're going to be adding value. We're going to add a fix and flip course, just like the wholesaling course. Has 25 modules. We're going to have a fix and flip course. We're going to have a private money course. I'm working on that. I'm just trying to provide value, man, because there's so much information there, and it shouldn't cost us $50,000, $60,000 to do this, right? You do need to make an investment, right, in yourself, because that's how I know if you're taking yourself serious. But man, we can literally, the people on this call, we can be the catalyst in our entire family tree. So before I get on a little tangent, man, I see Jorie is here. I'm really, really excited about this, man. Like, this is actually low key. I'm kind of fanning out right now. My man Jorie Aulston, and we met, in at We Live 19 for the first time. Well, Jorie, we met at first time we talked.
Man, you the famous guy.
Oh, get out of here, man. Yo, we were talking at if you guys don't know, there's a restaurant called right. There's a restaurant called they have it in San Antonio, they have it in some major cities. And the whole theme of the restaurant is that people just act like you know how servers are supposed to be nice and courteous to you. It's the complete opposite. So the whole theme is that they act like jerks to you, like they take your drink and they just kind of throw it on the table. What do you want? Right? And then we're like, what is happening here? And so we were. It was a good time, man. But we got a chance to kind of talk. Was me, him, and his wife, and Max was there, and Tony Robinson Sr. was there. And we're just having a really good time, man. And I got to see this dude is really genuine. Then he came to Atlanta, and we went bowling. It was the most expensive bowling trip I've ever gone on. I never spent $300 on freaking bowling in my life. But it was a good time, man. It was like a little upscale bowling spot. And again, got to really see his true heart. And so I was like, man, I've been meaning to call him and get him on this thing because he's doing stuff that I don't do, right? He's wholesaling in other states, like where he's never seen the property. So, you know, I've wholesaled in South Carolina. I don't know if that really counts as one state over, but, you know, like virtual wholesaling as his main business, you know, that's him. So get ready to take some notes. And without further ado, man, Jorie, take it away, man. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hey, thanks, Tommy, man. Thanks for the kind words, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, like you said, man, we met at that I forget that restaurant's name. I think it was Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah.
I've never been there before, but that was a pretty crazy time. It was a fun time. Then again, I came to Atlanta. I was down there doing some football stuff, and you were gracious to take me and my wife out one night to the bowling place. So we enjoyed that. Appreciated that, man. So
sure.
But yeah, you know, I'm glad you gave me a call. You know, wanted me to come on here and talk about some of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm pretty much 100% as far as wholesaling is virtual wholesaling. Can you guys hear me fine? You can hear me good?
Yeah, we're good.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm pretty much 100% virtual wholesaling. So that basically means that the houses that I'm wholesaling, I'm not actually in that city where they're being sold. I never walk the property. I never see the property, nothing like that. I got boots on the ground in different cities across the country that are out there, you know, doing my groundwork for me. And I'm doing a lot of the back office stuff. I'm doing a lot of the negotiations over the phone. And, you know, and I'm closing stuff from Miami. So I'm blessed to live in beautiful Miami. I was living in Michigan for the last 14 years. My wife's from Michigan. But Michigan's too cold for me. So I had to come down here to beautiful Miami where I can enjoy some of the sunshine. I've been in real estate since 2007. I'm a licensed broker in Michigan and in Florida. I got my real estate license in Michigan in 2007. You know, I came in at the end of the last housing boom. I tell people all the time, I came in right now. To me, what I feel right now today's market is when I came in when I first got into real estate, right? It was a lot of houses being sold, prices were sky high. You know, a lot of people were doing stuff, and then about 6 months later, the floor fell out, which actually was actually a blessing because what happened was we had a foreclosure crisis, which wasn't a blessing, you know, for people who lost their homes, but for as an investor on my side, what I was doing, I kind of walked into, you know, working for the biggest foreclosure broker in Michigan, and I became his #1 buyer's agent. So wow. I cut my teeth really quickly with working with investors because I was the one out there bringing investors REO properties, which is real estate owned, which is foreclosures. I was finding those properties for them. So I did that for about 13 years. And then the market just dried up. The market dried up. The MLS dried up. You know, you couldn't find, I was lucky to find one deal a month on MLS. You know, I got kids that need food. My wife needs food, and I had to figure out a way to adapt. So in real estate, it's all about adapting. You got to adapt to the market, right? Because markets change. But if you're a true investor, you can invest in any market, right? You don't have to worry about an up market or down market. You invest in any market, you just have to adapt to the actual market. So in 2015, I started doing what we now call wholesaling. I didn't even know it was wholesaling. I was just basically going out there, you know, driving for dollars, talking to sellers, talking to investors, knocking on doors, trying to find somebody who wanted to sell their house. Because if I don't sell houses, I don't eat. So that's what I started doing then. I was doing that in Michigan, and then we moved to Miami in May of 2016. And when I moved to Miami, you know, I couldn't leave my book of business in Michigan. I had a large group of investors that were buying. So I had to figure out a way that I could still wholesale from here to my investors up there. And that's how I kind of created the systems and the process that I do right now, which have helped me be able to virtual wholesale about 6 to 8 deals a month in different states across the country.
Wow. So you're doing 6 to 8 deals across the country, never seeing the property, never stepped foot in the property. And I know we just did an Instagram live and you kind of were talking about that. So forgive us if you were on that and it sounds redundant, but tell me, man, like biggest thing, like boots on the ground, right? Everybody's worried that they're going to steal a deal or they're going to go behind my back. What's the strategy that we can tell these people on our family here on this coaching call? What's the biggest thing that helped you kind of get around that, to navigate those waters?
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you said a keyword, family. That's the first thing right there. I reached out to family and friends, right, in those markets, in those areas who I thought could fit that position that I needed, right? So I reached out to people who I thought, okay, they might be good to be able to do this for me, right, in that market. There was somebody I trusted already, and just kind of approached them as like, hey, I'm doing this, you know, I'm doing real estate here. I'm wholesaling from Miami. You know, I'm trying to do it in Pennsylvania. Would you guys like to partner with me, right? That's the main key. I partner with a lot of people, right? So most of the stuff that I do, I partner with. And that's different than just saying, hey, you know, I'll pay you 10% profit on the deal if you go out there, run an appointment, give me pictures, you know, and bring me a buyer.
That's what I was going to ask you. How do you break that down? How do you break that down to them? Yeah.
Yeah, because I know. Because when I first got into wholesaling, I was actually the acquisition manager from a guy in Arizona, and this guy would pay me 10% profit per deal. And after 2 months, I'm like, dude, I'm doing all the work. This don't make sense. Yeah. You know, so I kind of approached like, look, let's partner together, right? You're in Pittsburgh, PA. I'm in Miami. You know, I have a role that I will do. You have a role that you will do. And if we're both putting something equally where it benefits both of us, you know, we partner together to create this company. So that's been my model, as to be able to partner with some key people in different markets. And then, you know, we might have an acquisition manager who just goes and does seller appointments, right? And that guy might get 8 to 10% profit of a deal, right? Because all he's doing is running an appointment.
So explain exactly. So that guy that's doing that, he's getting 8 to 10% of the pie. What is his responsibility exactly? What does he have to do?
Got it. And so again, we kind of morph different in different markets. So in the Michigan market right now, I have different partners who they do the actual appointments, and we split it 50-50, right? Now, in another market, I had to find an acquisition manager who would actually go out there and do that for us on the ground. And so what his job would be is pretty much this. The lead comes into our lead manager, right? The lead manager takes the incoming call. She qualifies the incoming call. She gets the seller information. She then puts into our CRM and kind of gives a follow-up, right? Set an appointment. Do we nurture the lead, which means they're not ready to sell right now? You know, what are the different qualifications for that lead? Let's say that lead is ready for an appointment tomorrow. You know, we'll then schedule the appointment with our acquisition manager in that actual market, who will then go out, and his job is to go to the appointment. His job is to, you know, get good pictures of the property, right? Pictures and video are everything in this business, right? So he wants to go out there and take a picture of everything, video everything of that property, because that's what's going to allow me to evaluate that deal and figure out a price to negotiate with.
Okay, so you got this person, so that's your boots on the ground person. Is that the same person that you said that's family or friends? Is that the same type of person, or is that a different person?
It depends on the market, right? So in the majority of my markets, that's the guy who's like my partner. Yes.
Okay.
So right now in Michigan or PA, those are partners of mine who are doing that.
Is that the 8 to 10% person that you're paying, or is that like someone that you're doing like a 50-50 split?
That's a partner. Yeah, that's a partner. Exactly. That's a partner, because that guy then is going to do more. He's going to do more in that deal than just the upfront part, right? Now, if it's a market where this guy is just somebody that we hired to be an acquisition lead guy for us in that market, that's the guy who only gets 8 to 10% per profit per deal.
Okay. Understood. All right. So you're marketing in these places. I know there's probably a myriad of things that you can do as far as marketing is concerned, but how are you sitting in sunny Miami, sipping pina coladas with umbrellas in them, and in marketing to
mojitos?
Mojitos, right? How are you doing that, and you know, getting sellers to call you over the phone in Michigan or Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Got it. I do a lot of different marketing techniques, right? And again, marketing to me depends on the list and the area. So I do a lot of direct mail, right? I was heavy direct mail because I'm old school. 2015, it was all direct mail, right? So I do a lot of direct mail in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in small cities,
And you're
right?
still
Small
doing it.
cities.
You're still doing that right now, direct mail?
I still direct. Yeah, we're sending out 3,000 pieces of direct mail tomorrow.
Okay, 3,000 pieces tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
But
good.
now we're sending out direct mail, but that same list we text blast that list this week, right? So we sent text to that list this week. We're sending out direct mail that will hit them next week, right? And then we'll cold call that list the week after. So we do direct mail, we do text blast, we do cold calling, and then we do PPC.
Nice.
Right.
All right, PPC, I like that. So, all right, so you're really hitting them from like what, 4 angles, right? Direct mail, you text messaging, you're cold calling, and PPC, all in that same market. Something like that, right? Like how much is that running? Someone who's new that wants to say, I want to start marketing in just outside of St. Louis, like Florissant, Jorie, right? What am I looking to spend, to do that same exact setup?
Got it. The first thing I'll say too is if you're new, you want to focus on a smaller list, right? When I do direct mail, I'm not direct mailing my 13,000 person non-owner occupant list, right? I'm going to direct mail like an empty nester list because older sellers still check their mail more, right? If you direct mail me, if you mail me something tomorrow, I'm not going to see it until November, probably Thanksgiving, because I don't check my mail often, right? But if I send mail to my grandmother, she's gonna probably go see it tomorrow.
That's smart.
Right? So understand that my direct mail is targeted to the list that we have. Also, I do an empty nester list, which is an actually like older demographic, and that's a very low response rate on text because they don't like the text, right? Sure. So your marketing is strategic. Texting is very, very cheap. I use Text Magic. It costs us 4 cents per text. That's outgoing text. Incoming texts are free, right? So you figure we spend about $1,000 a month to text, and we're hitting about 15,000, 20,000 people in text.
20,000 people for $1,000 investment.
Yeah.
Okay.
People that we hit, yes. Our direct mail, we price. If I send a list out to about 2,000 people in direct mail, it's gonna cost me about another $1,000, right? So we spend about $2,000 a month in direct mail. And that direct mail costs us because we do our own in-house direct mail, right? So we print them ourselves. I have a guy that takes them to the post office himself. We're not using one of these big mail houses to direct mail.
So you're able to cut costs that way.
Yeah, we cut costs by about half.
Wow. So $2,000 for about 2,000 pieces. So essentially $1 a piece.
No. I'm saying it's about $1,000 per 2,000 pieces.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So wow. So 50 cents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And that's me adding in material and stuff too. Then we're gonna do our cold calling, which cold calling's, the cheapest. That's the cheapest thing in the world is the cold call.
Absolutely.
Right there. And then of course we're driving for dollars. We're tracing lists, and then we're gonna go
cold
mail.
Cold calling. What numbers are you hitting on cold calling? What are you trying to do? Because I think people because we can say, hey, do direct mail, and then someone does 100 pieces of direct mail, and they're thinking that they're actually doing direct mail, right? And they're like, oh, you talk to you, and you're doing 2,000. Like I was talking with Max, I was complaining. I was like, man, I'm doing 2,000 leads on these RVMs a week, and he is like, bro, he's like, I'm doing 20,000, right? It really makes you understand that, okay, maybe I need to ramp my marketing up, right? So what does it look like on the RVM side? What are you doing for that? So you got about 1,000, you got 15,000 on the text messages. You're spending about $1,000 on. You got 2,000 in direct mail. You're spending $1,000 on.
Let me go back to it. I'm doing 2,000 a week in direct mail.
Oh wow, 2,000.
Okay, and that costs me about $540 per week.
Okay.
Because our direct mail costs us 27 cents per postcard with us doing ourselves.
So that's $11.60 a month. I'm sorry, that's 20. No.
So it's 540 times 4. That's $21.60 a month.
$21.60 a month. $21.60 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
We had another 1,000 on text messaging, which I think is phenomenal. At 15,000 to 20,000 leads for $1,000. That's crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. And so RVMs are, how many RVMs are you doing?
RVM is something that I don't do a lot of RVM, so that's not, I cold call, but I know RVMs are big. I'm actually doing RVMs in my follow-up campaign right now.
Okay.
Right. So and when a lead comes to my CRM and they're not a green hot lead, which means they're not ready to go right now, we put them on an RVM drip campaign where we drop an RVM per month to those leads that we're just kind of nurture along the process.
Got you. Do you have it set up where because if you guys don't know, RVM, ringless voicemail, right? You can have it set up one or two ways. When I do them, I have it set up one or two ways. It depends on the time that I call. So if it's during work time, I will prefer that it goes to their voicemail. So there's just a little button that I toggle, and if they hear a live voicemail, the thing just kind of hangs up, right? But if they hear the beep, it sends my message, right? But then when it transitions to when people are coming home for work, right, I want them to hear the real voicemail because now they have time, right? So they'll actually hear my live call and direct them to press 1 if they want to speak to me. So is that something that you're doing with those, or is you want it to go straight to the voicemail?
We're doing straight to the voicemail with ours. We are. Yeah. Right now. I mean, I like that strategy though. But right now we're going straight to the voicemail.
Awesome.
Yeah. And RVM is the thing that we do the least of, just because you can't do everything, right? Like
Yeah.
You can't do everything, right? Like I love direct mail. I feel like we've mastered direct mail, and honestly, a lot of people don't do direct mail anymore. So I feel like we're one of the few in the market that we're doing it where they still get postcards,
I was talking with Max, and about a month and a half ago, I was over there, and he was like, yo, I'm going back to direct mail because he's been talking about RVM so much, RVM. Everybody's doing RVM, and no one's doing direct mail anymore, right?
Yep.
So we got to be able to kind of go with the market, right, and always change and evolve. So that's something.
How I see it too. I mean, I've noticed that my direct mail, and because I can do it for a lot cheaper price than normal. I mean, our response rate. People say you get a low response. We get a high response rate for direct mail,
Wow.
and the ROI, is crazy. I mean, we send out 2,000 postcards. We'll probably get about 80 to 100 calls in, and I'll definitely get 2 to 3 deals out of that 2,000 campaign. But again, it's a targeted list. Right, I would never direct mail to Miami. Like I don't do it to Miami, because in Miami you got guys dropping 50,000 mailers a week, right? So it's gonna get flooded. But I'm in a lot of smaller cities where I can do it and it still makes a dent. So that's kind of what I do it. It depends on where you're at.
I'm getting I'm excited about this because just that one thing people don't really realize, right? There's so many people that spend thousands of dollars on direct mail and they lose, right?
Yeah.
That one thing that you just said, I don't know if you guys caught what he said. He's doing empty nesters, right? So you can get a list. Where are you getting your list from? List Source, or are you going to Melissa Data?
I go to Batch Skip Trace. I don't know if you know, they're out of Phoenix, but
Batch
Skip Trace. Yeah,
okay. So you go to Batch Skip Trace, you get your list. I've never used them, but I know on List Source I can target a certain age group, right? So if you guys are wondering, well, how is he targeting, empty nesters? Target a certain age group. Also target people who purchased the house, so you can just go in there and do the last recorded deed date, right? Target that date, 20 years ago. They bought the home. They bought it as a family home, right? And you have to do this. You're going to probably do this with like the first-time home buyer market. Is that what you're pretty much targeting?
Yeah. We're doing, so I mean, in most of the markets I'm in, the average median price is probably 150. So we're going 150 below, like 150 below.
So all this stuff is important because we could just say, hey, he could just say, hey, do mailers, and then you send it out to everybody, and you're just wasting your money. But the fact that it's targeted makes a huge difference. The fact that it's targeted to a specific group makes a huge difference. That's going to save you thousands of dollars, just that one thing alone. So that's awesome, man. So we got the marketing out there, got people calling, and now you have to face. I think Mo was off. He's excited over there. All right, you good, man? You good? Oh, I'm gonna call you out if you come out. We family. That's how it's gonna work. All right, so you got that they're calling now. Are you taking the calls? Are you the main person taking the calls, or are you got somebody else doing that?
I take it with other people, right? And I'll be honest, right now at this point, because we've added some more markets, I'm phasing out from taking calls because I'm more focused on just closing the deal. But up until about a few months ago, I was taking a lot of the calls. And just because I enjoy it, right? Like I actually enjoy closing the seller over the phone, never seeing the house and say, you know what, I closed that deal, I didn't want the house. You know, like to me, it's just fun to me. You know, and also I worked in some groups before where they had VAs and stuff making the phone calls, taking the calls, and the VA would miss stuff. I had to follow back up on the call a lot. You know, I just feel like I trust myself more than other people was the issue. So I was doing it myself, but I actually am to the point now where I'm kind of phasing out as much as I take that incoming call. I'm
gonna give everybody a little tip, right? If you're looking to do this, right? If you're looking to start to hire people, right? While Jorie is taking his call, get a Zoom membership, right? I don't make no money off this. I'm not an affiliate program, right? $14 a month, $14.95 for your basic Zoom, and just do like I'm doing right now and record your call. Because while you record them, you're gonna have some that are good calls, you're gonna have some bad calls, but what you're doing while you're doing the work, you're actually creating your training curriculum, right? At the same time. So when you're ready to phase, when you're ready to start doing this and add people into the mix, you don't have to spend 2, 3, 4 hours training them. You can say, hey, here's a list of calls, here's the structure, here's the script, and listen to these calls and watch what I say and how I respond to them. And now you're cutting some time. So you got the calls coming in, right? You got the calls coming in. Thank you, Sharon. I feel, I don't want Jorie taking all. Sharon said great advice. Giving all the good. I want to give a little something.
I just put that on my notes, Tommy. That was great advice. I just put that on my notes. I got you.
I'm saying I do a little something. 1 or 2 deals before. So what I want you to so we got the call going out, right? You're not making the calls right now, but you used to. All right, and then you close the deal. You're doing what? DocuSign, dot loop, I'm assuming, right?
I use dot loop.
Okay, that's what I used to. Exactly what I used to. So they send the contract. Boom. What's next after that?
So we sent the contract to the actual seller. They accepted the contract, right? They signed it in dot loop. Mm-hmm. Very next thing I do is 2 things. I call up my VIP, which are my very important buyers. The guys who I know, the girls that I know buy stuff, and I know this deal might fit them. I'm calling them up right now saying, hey, I just got a new deal. Here's the details. Are you interested? If so, boom, set up a showing, right? Because I'm calling them first before I do anything, right? As soon as I get done talking to them, I'm forwarding that contract to my title company, okay? Mm-hmm. And I have a title company in Michigan, I have one in PA, I have one in Florida, and I'm forwarding it to the title company. I'm going to say, hey, look, here's a new contract, rush title, because that deal might need to close in 5 days or a week, so title needs to be rushed. And then my title company already knows what I need because I do so many deals with them that they're almost like assistants for me when it comes to that transaction coordination of the deal, right? I get them the deal, I get them the seller's information, they follow up with the seller, they get what they need from the seller, and they kind of work on that whole title side so that I don't have to do all that.
Got you. Okay. So they handle the title side, and they're pretty much at this point, because you've done so many deals with them, they are pretty much like your liaison, nurturing that deal from the point that you give it to them to completion. Are you still in the mix there, or you kind of let them take the reins?
I mean, as far as the seller side, I'm still in the mix because then that's when I'm kind of like I'm doing my follow-up call with the seller every week. Like on Monday, I'm calling the seller because the weekend happens. They want to hear from you come Monday morning, right? So make sure you call that seller Monday. Don't wait till Tuesday, Wednesday, and call that seller up, especially if you have stuff going on. If you talk to them along the way and something happens along the way, they know you talk to them a lot, you communicate, you can navigate that a lot better, right? So I'm still the one calling the seller, hey, title's ordered, we should have title work back in about a week, I'm gonna have a couple guys come through the property, a couple of my contractors to get numbers. Because if the sellers aren't on board with you wholesaling the property, you have to know how to talk to them to get people inside the house, right? Okay. So I let them know up front, look, I have to have contractors come through, insurance agents come through, lenders come through, so that we can get this thing closed, and I need to be able to do work right away, right?
Yes.
Right? So that's kind of what I'm doing then. As far as the title work side and getting the seller's information for the title company, they're doing all that. I don't have to do anything with that.
And so listen, and I see people are putting stuff in the chat. Trust me, we're going to go through the chat and we're going to open up here in a little bit. Because I promised Jorie, this guy's a busy dude, and he got a family of five, like 5 kids, right? You said, right?
I got 5 kids and a wife and a dog.
5 kids and a wife and a dog. Yeah, so I promised him, I'm like, bro, you were done at 8 o'clock. I don't want any problems. So we're gonna open up here in a little bit, but hear what he said, because a lot of times,
Loving the vest. I see you, Samuel.
yeah, a lot of times, we don't get the keys, right? And so what he said is very important. It's not always. We're gonna role play a little bit, because it's not always what you say, it's how you say it and how you bring it about, right? So a lot of times you guys are saying some of the right things, like the words, but how you actually word it, it turns people off, or it doesn't evoke a feeling of trust, right? The same way when we go through the contract, you might say the contract one way, and they'll say, no, I don't want to sign that, and I can say the same exact contract, but how I break it down and how I explain it to them and how I illustrate it to them will elicit a different response. So if you don't mind, real quick, we'll role play that section, and we'll kind of open it up for some Q&A, because we're roughly about halfway through.
Okay.
But right now, I just signed the contract, and you're in Miami, sipping on a Mai Tai out the beach, and I'm in 2 feet of snow in Michigan, and I'm ready to go. I signed, but I'm at this point where I'm like, the keys. What's going on with the keys? So, that's where we're at.
Got it. All right, let's assume the house is vacant. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's assume the house is vacant. Hey, Tommy, man. All right, I got the contract back today. I appreciate that. I got it back in a timely fashion. I forwarded to my title company, so they'll get on title work right away. It should take about 2 weeks for title work to get done. We want to make sure it's clean on title work, but as soon as it's done, I'll let you know. We should be able to get in there and close that property. One thing I'm gonna need, Tommy, I need a lockbox in that house with a key in it, because like I told you before, I gotta get my contractors through there. I gotta get my lenders through there. It's Michigan. The snow's coming. If I can't get this house closed, start doing rehab on this house, I'm gonna be stuck with this house for 4 or 5, 6 months.
But hold on, so you need the keys to my house, but you haven't sold. I don't have any money yet. So why? I don't understand. Why am I giving you the keys to the house if you don't own it yet?
Well, we don't own it, so we're not going to be in there unless you know about it first, right? So we'll give you a call. I'll set it up with you. But like I told you before, I got to be able to get numbers for this property as far as rehab numbers. I need to get my insurance guys through there and my lender, through there, so that we can get this house closed quickly, and then we can get to the phase where I can fix it up and sell it. Like you said when we talked to you, it needed some work. You wanted to make some money out of it, make sure I got a little bit of money out of it too. So the best way for that to happen is for me to be able to get a lockbox on there. That way I don't have to call you to come over there in the snow every single day if I have a contractor going through, right? It's only be about 3 or 4 people, right? I'll send 3 or 4 people through. They'll give me my numbers. Title work should be able to be done. We'll be able to close.
So am I having to buy the lockbox?
Nope, we have our own lockbox. All I need to do is let me know a time that you can get over there. I'll actually put the lockbox on there tomorrow for you. I'll text you the code. Just let me know when you put the key in there for me, and we'll be all set.
Okay. All right. We can do that. All right.
Yeah, and again, Tommy, get earnest deposit with the title company. You're all protected. I'll let you know every time we go over there. It'll be either me or my partner, Mike, or one of my contractors that'll be in there.
All right, man. I think we can work with that, and I'll have the combination to it, right? Like you want to change the combination on me?
You'll have the combo. You can go in there whenever you want. If you got stuff you need to get out of there, you can go in there and get your stuff out whenever you want. It's just for us to kind of go in there, in the next couple of days, get our numbers done so we can move on to the next process, get this deal closed.
All right, cool. All right. So you guys see how natural that felt, right? It was it was just smooth, right? He didn't have to think about it. He probably have heard all the different, he heard all the excuses on why before he knew what I was going to say before I even said it, right? So that comes with time. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is I want to encourage you guys to utilize the Facebook group, right? Utilize the Facebook group and just, hey, I'm in the Facebook group and I text Ryan. I say, hey, Ryan, hey, let's exchange numbers and let's just practice together, right? Let's just role play together. So these are some of the extra stuff that you guys can be doing while you're in this group, right? Because this is what you paid for, right? Use the group, utilize the group, and become professionals, become better at it, right? Me and my brother yesterday, Josh, we were role playing yesterday, right? I was showing him on the phone, live on the computer, finding more buyers, right, for a list, because we're trying to really become like buyer agents, like the buyer side things. Okay, so do the exact same thing within the group. So I'm opening up real quick because it is it's 7:34, and I know I promised him right at 8 o'clock he's done, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. So anybody who has questions, go ahead and let us know. Put your hands up. Let me see. I see Ali got his hand up. Let me see. I'm going through the chat here. So good evening, upskill. Yeah. Great advice. Definitely. Okay, cool. Somebody said, hey, Jorie, I heard OKC market is way better than Tulsa. Was that true? OKC is better than Tulsa? Logan's out of Tulsa. Logan's the guy I was telling you that you guys need to connect because he's
okay.
You know,
Well, Logan, Tulsa's my newest market. We've only been in there for about a month, so I'm sure I'll find out pretty soon.
Hey, I was just messing with you, man. I'm just saying that because I'm here.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Hey, listen, man, there's enough for everyone, okay?
all right. Sam, or you got your question answered. All right. Cool. Yep. Courtney, we did talk about that. Me and Courtney were talking about how to find guys. The way to find buyers is crazy. I'll go with that just really quick after Jorie gets off at 8. I want to be respectful of his time. I want to ask questions pertaining to that.
Hey, the key on the buyers too, because remember, guys, I was a buyer's agent. That's how I got in real estate, right? So I didn't list anything. All I did was found buyers, find out what they wanted, then I went and found a deal. The easiest way to find a deal is to find a buyer first. I always say that. Find a buyer, see what they want, and then go find those deals for what they want.
Gotcha.
So I live off of buyers. I mean, buyers are the key to everything I've done.
You know, and I got to connect you with my man down, David Ligon. He has he's like the 5th largest wholesaler. He was when I interviewed him in Florida, man. And that's pretty much what he does. He probably finds 2 or 3 deals on his own. Mm-hmm. And he has over 35,000 buyers just in the state of Florida on his buyers list. So anytime someone brings a property to him, it's like if it fits, if he can put some money on top, and he makes like 5,000 on top of a deal. He might make 7 every once in a while, but he's just doing volume because he has so many. Because he literally has buyers. Any place in Florida, you got a property, you got a buyer. So Ramona asked, how do you find an REO broker?
They don't exist today. That's just being honest. The market's different right now, right? Remember when I got into it in 07, from 07 to 2013, 14, it was the largest influx of REO deals on the market ever, right? And in history real estate, like it wasn't used to being able to go online and find REO listings, right? So right now, there really aren't guys who focus on REO listings because the banks stopped releasing what they had. The banks use auction.com, they use Hubzu, they use Zomi, HUD. Those are now your REO brokers. Back in the day, like we would get the listing from the bank. They would give them to us. They'd pay us a commission to go sell them. So back then, you had to cozy up to somebody like me who got REO listings. We would do 30, 40 listings a month that were all bank owned. But in today's market, it's really hard to find REOs in general, unless you go onto these auction platforms.
Got you. Okay. Let me get to Ali. Ali got his hand up. And if you guys don't know how to do that, you can put your virtually put your hand up. Don't actually stand there like this because we're just going to laugh at you. It's like a little button that you can put your hand up so I get notification that you have a question. Ali, I'm trying to unmute you. There you go.
Hey, Jorie, I got 2 questions. I'm going to ask both questions, let you go from there so we can save some time a little bit. First part is, how do you drive for dollars virtually? And the second part, if you only had $350 a month, how would you attack a market?
Yeah.
Specific, I know, but it's for a reason.
Yeah. No, I understand. Driving for dollars virtually is easy. I mean, I got family, I got friends. I tell them all the time, look, give me a list of houses, let them run down. It was funny because I use the same tip Tommy does. Go on trash day, find a rundown house without trash in the front. Give me an address, right? So basically, my boots on the ground again. They're the ones out there driving for dollars. Either it's the guys that work for me or just random people I know that are out there looking for houses. And I say, hey, look, I'll pay you a certain amount per closed deal if you bring me a house. That's how I kind of do that. As far as the marketing, you said $350 a month, right? To market
For the whole shebang.
the whole shebang. If I had $350 a month, I would drive for dollars all day long, right? I wouldn't spend too much time pulling a big list. I would focus on a very, very small niche list because when you pull a list, it's only one time, right? So you might have to pull out a list that 1 month, and that's all you do, right? And then I would drive for dollars, and then I would handwrite yellow letters to mail out. My daughters handwrite yellow letters for me, and I would cold call and do some text blasts. That's what I would do. Because again, text blast is about 4 cents a text. But the key to that is you have to be hitting up a very, very, very directed list. You don't want to throw out a wide net with that amount of money.
Roger, got it. Appreciate it, bro.
I saw your message, Ramona. You said she doesn't have a hand to raise, but I got you after Courtney. I got you after Courtney. Courtney, go ahead. There we go. I think I muted somebody or unmuted some. I don't know what I did. I think I muted you, Jorie. Hold on. Mute and unmute everybody. All right, there you go. I think both of you guys are unmuted.
Okay, I think you may have answered this question. I was cold calling, but outside of realtors, how would you suggest finding boots on ground if you don't know many people?
So if you don't know many people in that area,
or reliable people.
Yeah. So do you have buyers in the area already?
Not reliable, but just a little bit.
Okay, so there's two things. There are services out there that you can use, right? Where you can pay them, and it's not expensive. They'll actually go to the house, they'll take the pictures, right? They'll take video, and they'll upload that for you, right? So I would probably use one of those services. I don't have the name on me right now, but I'll get it to Tommy. Share it to him.
We go look.
There's that one. There's another one that does BPOs. It's a BPO company, but I would use one of them until you can build up some guys on the ground in that market.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Because the key is this too. You want to find someone reliable because again, you're trusting that person to go to that house and then get the deal back to you without trying to take it from you.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's the key.
Exactly.
So, let me ask you a question based off of that. Let's say I don't have family or friends there, right? Let's say I identify a market and I found a good market. What's some of the qualifying questions you would ask someone? To determine whether or not, I want to.
That's ants crawling all on me.
Somebody came off mute.
Yeah. So I think the main key is this: you have to find someone there, right? You got to find someone in that market who's looking to do what you're trying to do, that's hungry like you, right? And to be honest, that's not as established, right? You don't want to find somebody too established and be like, oh, I can find this deal and just pass off to one of my buyers, because that's what you're going to do. Right. So you want to kind of find someone, kind of find out what kind of, history or education they have in real estate. You want them to have some kind of education in real estate or some kind of hunger to learn, right? A lot of the things I do these are people who want to learn the business. And so I'm going to help teach you the business by you helping my boots on the ground. Yeah. Got it? And again, it can't be the realtor who's out there selling 10 deals a month because she's going to probably take the deal from you. It has to be that guy who's hungry, that guy or girl who's hungry to learn something, right? But that you can tell over the phone is a pretty honest, trustworthy person, right? So to me, it's not actually questions. It's more of a door knock call. You got to feel, you got to have a feel for who that person is.
A vibe, like a vibe.
Yeah.
A vibe.
Yeah. It's all about the vibe. It definitely is. And you know what? You might go through 4 or 5 people. I mean, you might. It might like Tommy, you talking about this. You went through some people. I've been through people. It might take you 4 or 5, people to find someone that actually is going to fit.
Yeah. And you guys, and that's a good point, man. You got to understand, like, this is not we're dealing with people. Remember I told you wholesaling is consistency, right? It's all about persistence, but it's science and art. The science is like the math, right? That's the stuff that just doesn't change. You know how to do math, the ARVs, 1 + 1 is 2. The art is dealing with people, man. That's really the hardest part, is being able to deal with people. So
let me ask a question real quick too. So what makes you choose this market where you don't have many people there already? Like, what made you want to choose that market?
Who, me?
Yeah, not saying you've chosen one, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, my family lives there. Like all of my family, really. but they help here and there. Like my mom sends me leads driving for dollars because she Ubers. My dad, he'll go when he has time and he'll take photos, but I need consistency.
Got it.
So I know it's a high area to target, but I'm working with what I can right now so I can get more.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. One thing I would do is maybe ask some of that family for some referrals to somebody they think that might be able to fit that job, right? So you can find one person that might be able to be consistently boots on the ground. But the fact that you have some people there makes me feel a little bit comfortable than just saying I'm going into this market because somebody said it was hot and I know nobody there, you know? Because that's what I see a lot. People say, oh, that market's the hottest market in America right now. Let me go virtual wholesale there. But you know nobody there. You know?
Right.
I just want to let you know we got people in the chat. They got jokes. I'm about to.
I saw it.
Take them off the chat, man.
Kanye, Chris Rock.
They about to.
They call Tommy Kanye.
I'm about to
Who
take
look
them
like
off the chat, man. They about to be expelled from the group.
We're not really cousins. That's a joke. I get the Chris Rock thing like once a day, so I just say that.
Ramona, you can go ahead and come off mute and ask your question. Can I unmute you? There we go. You're unmuted now.
I put the question in chat. Now I forgot what the question was.
Was that the one about the Class C neighborhoods?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yes. Yeah,
yes. I love
you
those.
do.
I'm in class.
Okay.
Look, I don't care about the class.
Where's the question at? So because some people can't read because they're driving or whatever. So
it says, Jorie, do you look for deals in C-class neighborhoods?
Okay.
Yes.
What does that look like? Explain what a C-class to you, like through your eyes. What's the data that you're pulling in and say, C-class neighborhood from Florida, when you're looking at in Michigan?
So neighborhoods go from A to D. A is your like very, very high class, best school district. Upper, that's the district that everyone wants to live in if they could afford it, right? That's the A district. The B district is the district's right outside, usually right outside that neighborhood, right? There's still very high middle class neighborhoods, very good schools. The C class is when you get into the so-so range, right? Those are the areas that is mostly, so, and another thing, A and B are very, very high homeowner neighborhoods, where C and D are very, very high rental neighborhoods, right? Very, very high rental. So if I want to flip a house, I'm going to probably flip a house in an A or B neighborhood usually. If I have investors that want to buy rentals, right, I'm going to get a wholesale deal and sell it to an investor to buy rentals in a C neighborhood. Me personally, I don't flip anything like rehab flip. I either wholesale or I buy it myself, or I sell the note, the seller financing. I don't do any rehab flips. I hate them. Takes too much of my time. Too many headaches. So I really don't even mess with A neighborhoods. Most of my stuff is in, B, lower B, C-class neighborhoods. And I mean, if the numbers make sense.
Let's try something. Let's try something real quick. Cause I don't, you're in Grand Rapids. That's one of the places you're in, Grand Rapids, Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do something real quick. Let's do something. We got a little bit of time.
We're good. Like nobody's in my house right now. We're gonna go over a little bit. We're fine. So don't worry.
Okay. All right. Cool.
This is rare. I have an empty house.
I'm gonna share my screen real quick and let's see if we can figure this out. So this is dot loop. If whoever's asking about dot loop is a project we're working on right now. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can just given that little bit of information because I think it's good to hear it. But if we can see it live.
Yeah.
I think it drives the point home. Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I've never been to Grand Rapids, Michigan before. So I don't know. But he just told me that it's mostly rental neighborhoods is where. So I'm sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm like, you know what? I want to wholesale in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I don't really feel like a 15-hour drive to do it. Or 16. Somebody's off the mute. If you're hold on, let me stop sharing. Somebody off of mute. All right, thank you. You went back to mute. All right, but I don't want to make that 18, 16, whatever it is, hour drive to Grand Rapids. So this is what you guys can do. And you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to come up here to Zillow because I'm not a realtor. I don't have access to the MLS. I don't have friends up there. And I'm just going to go to my for rent, right? I'm gonna get ready for sold right now. I'm gonna come back to that, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm probably gonna do a little bit of research. But even without doing a little bit of research, knowing that Grand Rapids is probably a market where I'm assuming 2-bedroom, 1-bath is going to be sub 1,000. Would it be about 1,000? About 1,000?
About 1,000. 1,000.
So I'll probably do 2-bedroom, 1-bath neighborhood, understanding that someone who's renting a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, right? Think about that. Most people have families that need more than 2 bedrooms, right? But when they're doing that, there's some people that unfortunately they got, a family of 4, a family of 5, but that's what they can afford, right? And so understanding what that looks like, just picture what that looks like. I'm probably gonna put my parameter somewhere between minimum of 0 to up to about $1,100. Okay, and this is just like I would do research on it, and you can do the research just by going to Apartment Finder or right on Zillow and just see where they're at, right? And let's just see. So you're familiar with Grand Rapids, right? So you're doing this. Let me see, make sure I'm on any. Let me make sure house. Let's do this. Done. Let's do. Because I'm looking, we can do all time or any, and I want to keep this open, any firm, and that's it. All right, actually this thing's in the way again. Hold on, done. All right, so is this an area that you're in here? Let me zoom in here. Have you been in any of these neighborhoods here?
Oh yeah, I'm in those neighborhoods all the time.
All right, so. Out of all of Grand Rapids, so guys, just look at this, right? Literally just the information that he just told us and just coupling it with a little bit of common sense, right? And just life experience, you could probably do this at almost any place, right? Mm-hmm. So out of all of Grand Rapids, I could probably tell you, and if I couple this with throwing on for or sold up to 50K, right? Because we said, remember what? Banks don't like to give money. They don't like to loan on mortgages less than $50,000. I don't know why it keeps doing it. Go to 50. 0 to 50. Done. Why does it keep going back up to 3.1? What is wrong with my computer here? Let me take off the for rent real quick and see if that helps. Do $50,000. Okay, we all see it's $50,000 and done. Okay, there we go. So coupling that information, which we saw that was like right in here, along with this, I can pretty much tell without ever going to Grand Rapids, this is probably a nicer neighborhood. Down here, somewhere over here is probably a nicer neighborhood. Up here is probably a nicer neighborhood. Am I right? These neighborhoods?
You see East Grand Rapids is the most desirable neighborhood in Grand Rapids.
Yeah. So I didn't pick that because I didn't know if that was a whole separate city. Some papers say
it's still city. I mean, up here, Grand Rapids Charter Township, that's your next desirable neighborhood. So, and the stuff with a lot of dots in it, that's pretty much your inner city, north and south.
So this is pretty much where you're doing most of your deals at, right? Maybe a little bit down here, but mostly in this little circle right here.
Yeah, pretty much all around there is where I'm doing my deals at. Yeah, I don't do much in East Grand Rapids because, again, when you're wholesaling, there's not going to be many opportunities out there, right? Most of my stuff is inside that little north to south area where all those dots are at. Got you.
So all I'm doing is I'm picking an area like this, 2003. You ever been in this zip code, 49507?
Yep, I lived over there before.
Okay, so 49507, and I'm gonna take a look at. I'm just gonna pull some data, right? Do a little bit of research from this area. Go into List Source, or go into Data Zap and Melissa Data. Go to all those places, pull some data, and say, okay, is this a hot neighborhood? What are they selling for, right? And then you couple this with, you throw that purple dot on there, and you're really starting to niche down on your neighborhoods to really find out where are people who are buying rentals, where are they buying at, exactly. Right? And now I can just purchase a list for whatever that zip code is, 49507, right? This doesn't have to be hard. We just got to apply a little bit of like knowledge to it, and just understanding of what it actually looks like to get a deal done. And when you do that, man, you can go. We can do this in Arkansas. We can do this in California. We can do this in Texas. You can do this in any market, right? And just start to niche down in that. Does everybody understand? Go
I
ahead.
love to use Zillow too because a lot of people complain about Zillow, and the Zestimate, we all know what that is. It's BS, right? But
Right.
you can use Zillow's tools like that. You can use a draw tool. If you press remove boundary, I
Yeah.
draw my own boundaries on Zillow because I pull comps by neighborhoods, right? You have to know, one street over could be a totally different neighborhood. You can use that draw tool too. And you can actually get a very, very good detailed picture on comps in the area without having to pay for so many services out there that you pay for.
Yeah. So, it's just so many things that you can do. I use Zillow a lot. I thought about, I really need to actually put together like a how to use Zillow for like real estate investors type of a course, because I use Zillow a lot and I have access to the MLS, but I use Zillow a lot, man. Because that's how I learned. I didn't, I was broke, so I had to learn the freeway.
we all hate Zillow because the sellers always give us an estimate, but use Zillow for what you can use it for. It still is a very good resource, and it's free.
Yeah, man. Cool. Let me go back and see if anybody else got any questions. All right, we got some hands up now. Looks like Dex had his hand up first, so go ahead, Dex. Hold on, Dex. Let me unmute you. Hold on. There you go. There you go, bro.
Okay. Good night, everybody. My question is, when is the best time to wholesale? And the reason why I asked that question too, because going through my medical conditions and stuff like that, some days I'm up, some days I'm down, and I can't really do too much of the meeting with a person face to face, as far as what my doctor tells me. So I want to do it full time. I want to do it full time, but I want to know when is the best time that I can, get myself set up to do that.
Okay.
Best time as far as our time during the day, or is that what you're asking? Or like time during the year, or what?
I guess like, when I listen to like Max Maxwell and a few other guys, they were saying, try to get a good amount of deals under your belt before you get virtual, before you virtual wholesale. So
okay, and so you asked specifically about virtual wholesale. What's the best on the virtual wholesale? Got it. I mean that's each one to that person, right? Because I started off virtual wholesaling, and again, it worked for me because I had certain relationships in certain markets where I could kind of go in there right away and do it, right? So it depends on you. It depends on, is there a market right now where you have trustworthy people, right? Where you can put some systems in place to leverage those people to be able to wholesale. So I can't really tell you yes or no, or this is a good or bad time, because it depends on you and the resources you have, at your disposal to be able to put in the work.
So Dex, here's because we've spoken a little bit about your condition, right? And going into the hospital, and I've actually seen you on the calls, which I congratulate you on, man. This dude has been in the hospital along with Carla and a couple other people have been in the hospital, and they're on the coaching calls, right? So that's definitely shows a level of dedication. Here's what I would do for you, like just personally. This is what I would think on your end. Your best bet is go to all buyer, right? Like be 100% in on buyers, and let that be your thing, because it's less when it's with a seller, it's like a little bit more nurturing, right? You got to build the trust, and it's easier to do that face to face, and it takes a little bit more time. But you can qualify buyers over the phone. If you go through the buyer section of our course, right? If you go through the buyer section of our course, I give you the script on how to say what to say to buyers to qualify them, to figure out whether or not they're real buyers or not. You do that, make that your mission, just like we did cold calling last call Sundays. Make that your mission to call and get as many qualified buyers across the state. So you can now go on Facebook Marketplace. Think about this. Go on Facebook Marketplace, because wholesalers are out there putting wholesale deals all the time, right? Most of them are trash deals. But now scour through Facebook Marketplace, and let's say twice a month you find a good deal, but it's not anywhere near where you live at, because you're here close to Atlanta, right? You're somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's say it's a deal in Rome, Georgia, right? About 2.5 hours from where we're at. But because you implement this, and you have dedicated, become the wholesaling buyer's king of all of Georgia, you have a huge buyers list. You can do it in any part. You can be in Valdosta, which is like 4 hours away from us, right? And There's a college down there. There's a college town. There's people that are buying in Valdosta. You just don't know them yet. But I just showed you, just like you did that, if you took that Zillow and went down to and said Valdosta, Georgia, and then the purple dot on, right, and said, hey, I want to look for single family homes that are renting for X amount, right? So they're not the condos, they're not the ones that are high dollar, owned by big companies. These are the ones that are owned by me, right? And I'm an investor, right? You're going to get a list of 400 or 500 purple dots. And the best part about them is that they're trying to rent their house. So if you scroll down, you don't even have to skip trace them. There's a phone number there. A lot of times it's the owner that's listing the property, right? Okay. So now you just pick them up and you're going to call 100 people a day. And you're going to say, hey, my name is Dex. I'm a local real estate investor. And what I do is I specialize in finding properties just like the one you have on Main Street that I see that you have for rent. Let me ask you a couple questions, because I have a couple of deals that I'm looking to push towards some investors that are interested in buying. Are you interested in increasing your rental portfolio? And just let them give you the answer, right? Oh yeah, I am, or no, I'm not. If they are, then you go into what I teach you in the course and how to qualify them to see if they're a real buyer or not, if they're just a play buyer, right? Okay. You just do that. If you do that instead of like how people spend hours doing cold calling, right? For sellers, you do that, you become the buyer's agent. Just pick a state and say, you know what, pick a city and say, this week I'm working on Valdosta, and I'm going to get 100 buyers in Valdosta. And next week I'm going to work on Rome, Georgia, and the week after that I'm going to work on Augusta. And next thing you know, you got the whole state covered. Cool. Man, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, man.
I'll tell you too. My guy that does most of my my marketing for my deals that we sell for my company is in Indianapolis. And he does it all via online, all of it, right? So he's selling my deals for me. He's my disposition. Indianapolis, he's selling deals for me in PA, in Michigan, and Florida, and it's all online over the phone. Never once saw a buyer or seller. So that's great advice.
Okay.
Tom.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, great advice. Thank you, Coach. Yeah.
No problem, man. Logan, it's 8 o'clock, so we're gonna go through this quick. You just let me know, Jorie, when you gotta go. Just say, hey, I gotta go. Logan, I'm gonna loan your hand, and you are. Oops. I think I unmuted and unmuted you or something like that. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, there you go. You're good now.
I got it. Yeah. I just wanted to say, hey, Jorie, if you ever want to link up, I am in Tulsa. So I don't know. I'll figure out your socials and stuff. But Tommy, I had like a off-topic question, but it's pretty important. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, I got my first Airbnb locked up.
Nice. No, I didn't see it. Nice.
But the landlord was saying like he wanted to be an added interest on my renter's insurance, and I was like, yeah, I guess we can do that. Okay. And then I was talking to my insurance guy, and he was like, you might want to do like some kind of commercial real estate deal. And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know which route to take. Like, what kind of insurance would you get?
Yeah. So is it in your name or is it in your company's name?
My company's name.
So do commercial. Yeah. It's not a big deal, right?
Okay.
It's not a big deal. Don't let that word commercial. Oh my gosh. Like, you're not talking about buying a $30 million commercial building, right? It's just
right.
The only difference is that you're going to do it through your company, right? And that's a better layer of protection for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan, I'll get your stuff from Tommy, man. I definitely want to link up with you too.
Sure. All right, for sure, bro.
Yeah. All right, cool. Marcus, what's up, man? I'm lowering your hand, and you can take yourself off mute. Where you go? I don't see you. There you go. Nope. Nope.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
Great, it's great. Hey, I appreciate all the good information tonight. I had actually two questions. How do you determine what qualifies for a new market for you? I know I've heard Tommy and Max mention the fact that smaller markets are kind of more appealing. I guess what type of criteria do you look for when you look for your market? And number two, you mentioned that you cold call, and by you doing it virtually, I'm curious, it's a little different. So are you walking into that conversation with the MOA already knowing what you can offer, or do you pretty much qualify them over the phone and then kind of run your comps from there?
Got it. I'll start with the last question first. I'm not walking into the conversation with any kind of MOA or anything, right? When I'm cold calling, I'm not even gonna make an offer on that first call. Usually, I'm strictly trying to find out, do I have a motivated seller, right? And then I want to get as much information about that property as I can and try to get their number, right? That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not a guy that like makes offers over the phone sight unseen. Again, we have people going to the house. Now, if it's a deal where somebody gives me a number, I know that market. I'm like, okay, that number's good, right? Okay, we're good. I'll send you a contract out, whatever, and we'll get it tied up. But 99% of the time, that call for me is an information call to find out, are they motivated, right? What's going on with the house? What's their motivation? And try to find their number. That's all I'm doing. And then I'll call them back. I'll set an appointment, have my guy or my girl go out there to look at the house. Then I'll call them back and negotiate the deal. And I'm not worried about, if you don't throw out the offer right now. I mean, there's so many houses out there, man. So I'm going to take my time on my process and do it the way that we do it because, I'm not trying to be stuck. Again, I'm not there. So I'm not going to just tie up a bunch of houses and call them a week and say, hey, I can't sell the house, right? The houses that we tie up, 99.9% of the time, we're going to buy them and we're going to sell them.
Okay. I got you.
The first question, too, with me, again, it comes to comfortability, right? Do I have people there where I can get into that market and be successful? Because I'm not just going to any market. I know for a fact I can wholesale in almost any market right now. It's about consistency and about systems and boots on the ground, right? I need to know that I have people there that can help me out where I can run this operation the way we want to run it and do it successfully, right? Because it's not hard to get seller leads today. Believe me. You can get a seller, you can do a campaign, a text campaign, whatever, and get a ton of seller leads. If you can't follow up with that lead means nothing. That lead means nothing, right? So it's all about, do I have the systems in place to be able to follow up with those leads that I get where I can close deals? And that's what is my determining factor in picking a new market for virtual wholesaling.
Nice.
Gotcha. Hey, I appreciate that, brother. Have a good evening, all right?
Awesome, man. Dropping some gems. All right, Matt. How much time you got, Jorie? So I just.
You're like 10 minutes?
10 minutes?
5 minutes, yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep your questions quick, right? Matt, you're on. Just unmute yourself. Oh, hold on, let me see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're good.
I have something that is not virtual wholesaling, so I don't want to waste Jorie's time. So if you have time after he leaves.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so that we can get to other people's questions. All right, cool. Just remember to raise your hand again so I can get to you. Hayden, you're up next. Let me unmute you. Sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I can unmute people and sometimes I can't for whatever reason. There you go. You unmuted. You're good.
All right. So my question is actually it doesn't really have to do with virtual wholesaling. It's more a question of afterwards. So I'll do the same as Matt.
About what? I'm sorry.
It's something it's a deal I'm already working on. So I wanted to wait until I
okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, because we'll go into depth on that.
Yeah.
iPhone. Where's iPhone at? Oh, right here. I think the iPhone. Unmute. iPhone. I need your name, man, because that way I can address you right. I think you're unmuted right now.
Well, that's me.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, if you're absolutely new to this, right? What would be the first thing that you would do? I'm trying to get educated on the whole thing. What would be the first thing as far as taking action?
Who is this? Because like I said, it just says iPhone. It doesn't say your name.
Emmanuel.
I'm sorry?
My name is Emmanuel.
Oh, Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel, what's up, man? First time seeing you. So
you're brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah. I would go out to every event I can go to, meet people, talk to people, find out what they're looking for, right? I wouldn't even be pulling lists, anything like that yet. I would go out there and try to find some buyers, find what they want, because I'm assuming you don't even know too much about what people want yet, right? Find what people are buying, find out what areas they're buying in, get all that knowledge in your head first, then figure out a way to find that deal for those buyers. That's what I do, because that's what I did first. It's a lot easier to find some buyers and to find the deal. And they're gonna say, "Hey, I got 1,000 people find deals. They lock the deal up. They don't know what to do next. They have no buyers for it, nothing, right?" So I would go out there, talk to people every day, and just try to meet other investors, because other investors will help you out as far as what you need to do to be successful.
Where would you go to find these people, these investors?
I go to Meetup, right? I go to local real estate investment clubs. There's always seminars. Like there's those free seminars that come into town, like whatever they are, whatever those things are. Go to those seminars, talk to people. Go on meetup.com. There's 1,000 meetups you don't even know about, right? There's lunches. There's people who do lunches during the day, every day, right? There might be 5 guys there, right? It's not so much the big meetups. It's those small ones where you actually might find someone that's actually doing something that can benefit you. So I would just talk to people daily, you know?
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Sam, I did see your hand. You're after Carla. Mo, what you got, fam?
There we go. What's going on, Jorie? I applaud you for being crazier than me because you got 5 kids. I only got 4.
And all y'all crazier than me because I only got 3.
After 3, it don't matter.
Oh, Sam, you got 7? Good.
All right, brother, we got to talk after this.
I'm sorry.
This is a thing called a condom, okay? All right. We neutered, bro.
But Jorie, I'm right up the street in Orlando, and my question is like just about systems. So, just like as like you're like growing your real estate investment company, what systems do you have in place to just make sure like everything is kind of like automated and like you keep like a steady flow of leads coming in and it's just making things like easier for you?
Got it. You want to have a good CRM, right? And you don't need a super souped up CRM that costs you $5,000-$10,000 to build, but you want to have a CRM system where you can keep track of leads and that you can automate follow-up, right? So you want to be able to categorize them as certain leads, create a next action and next date to be able to follow with that lead, right? So that's the first thing you want to have is a good CRM. I think CallRail is one of the best tools out there in the world because with CallRail, I could be driving in my car, talk to a seller. I don't have to pull over and get a pin out, right? I can just talk to them normal and not worry about remembering stuff because that call is recorded, right? So when I'm done with that call, I can go back and say, okay, what that guy called about, go over it then, make my decisions and call him back, right?
Very good point.
Google Drive is free. Google Drive is amazing. I use Google Drive. We put our pictures in Google Drive. We use Google Sheets.
I started doing that.
Yeah, all of our pictures, a guy goes out to do an appointment. He takes the pictures, he uploads them to Google Drive. They instantly share with my whole team, right? So Google Drive is a great resource and it's free. Even Google Sheets. You can create spreadsheets with Google Sheets that are free to kind of organize your stuff.
CallRail. Someone said call what? It's CallRail.
CallRail, R-A-I-L. CallRail. Outside of that, whatever systems you like. For me right now, I have a text blast system. I have an RVM system, but that stuff's when you're getting more into it. I mean, if you're just starting off, get a good CRM system, get a good phone system, which for me, I use CallRail, and use Google and all its sheets and drives and all the other stuff that you got in.
Cool.
So, hey, believe me, my CRM is pretty basic. I know guys who build out podios, they spend 10, 20 grand.
Listen, guys, and if you've already done this, when we hang up, we'll talk about you, but don't do that, man.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Unless you're doing you got, 12 deals plus a month and you're making 120 grand a month, 150 grand a month, go ahead and knock yourself out, right? But you don't need that crap. Yeah, even if you're doing 1 or 2 deals right now, use Google Sheets, make a spreadsheet, right? Yeah, man. Just do that spreadsheet. Don't fall into that hype that you need all these. Exactly. They make it more complicated than it has to be. It really does, man. Sharon, let me let your hand down. And where are you at? I don't know now. Maybe I need to unmute first.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There we are. I got you.
Hey, I'm going to make my question really quick, but virtual wholesaling is something that I definitely want to get into. But I wanted to ask you, so I work for an airline. I can pretty much fly anywhere in the world for free. And
let me get that ticket. Let me get that buddy pass, man.
And I wanted to know, how do you go about picking a market? And when you go to pick a market, how do you go about setting it up to where you can build your team? So, would that be flying in and go to REIs? Would that be flying in and meeting a bunch of buyers? How would you go about setting it up, like title companies, boots on the ground, so on and so forth?
Got it. Again, for me, if I go into a market, it's because I feel comfortable about some people that I have in that market already, who have built relationships. So that's usually when I go into that market. If if I'm gonna go into a market blind right now, you know, and I'm you who can fly for free, I'm gonna definitely fly into that market, right? I'm gonna meet with some realtors. I'm gonna meet with a couple different title companies, right? I'm gonna go to a couple investment groups, find some buyers, because you know you want to have a team of those people on your team. Even if you don't use realtors to be your acquisition, you want to know realtors because realtors will sell your deals for you. They will, right? So I know a lot of wholesalers today think realtors hate wholesalers. I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed broker who wholesales. I got a ton of realtors who work for me, who do stuff for me, right? And they'll do that stuff for free. They get paid by commission already. So use them as your advantage, right? So I would actually, yes, I would go there and I would meet with title companies because title companies are very, very key, right? But I would also go to places like Facebook groups, right? Bigger Pockets. And I would ask people in those markets who they use, right? Who's a good title company in this market? And you will get some amazing, amazing advice and support from other investors in those markets that'll help you narrow down your search. Like, don't go about it blind. One thing about investors, real estate investors they're very, very generous. They're very giving for the most part. And, you know, we love helping each other out. So I would just ask around those areas first.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome.
All right, we got time for Carla, real quick question, and Sam, real quick question, and then we're gonna go ahead and let Jorie get to his whole tribe of children. Carla, I think I put your hand down. I might need you to unmute yourself. I can't see where you're at. Where you at, Carla? Oh, there you go.
Unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you now.
Okay. Thank you guys for all the information you've been sharing. My question is, I've run into a list that's in Flint, Michigan. Or Jorie, are you familiar with the Flint, Michigan market?
Yes, I am. Very familiar.
Okay. I might want to talk to you after this. There's some commercial and real estate list of properties that haven't sold in a year, and they're in conservatorship, but I can get all the information that you might want to maybe, because what I'm trying to do, what can I do with those properties, or if it's something that you're interested in, because it may be about at least 30 or 40 of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you, I don't know. I'll give you guys my information when we're done. You can reach out to me, send it to me. Yeah, I mean, pretty much in Michigan, I got contacts all throughout the whole state. So if the numbers make sense, I'll definitely look at it, and we can partner on it. I can try to help you out to find some buyers.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It is. The numbers make sense. All right, and Sam.
That's the key right there. The numbers gotta make sense.
Yeah.
Bro, make sure the numbers make sense, because he only want to answer the phone like twice. If they don't, yes, we going straight to voicemail. People call me all the time, man. I got one dude, he send me properties all the time. I like, yo, I gotta block him, because every time.
Somebody sending me that $80K purchase price, $20K rehab, $130 ARV.
Yeah. First of all, it's like $50,000 in rehab. Yeah.
You don't know the 10% roll the closing costs and commissions too.
I tell people all the time, man. People don't show. I'm doing these free coaching calls. I'm telling people all the time, like, yo, that's the quickest way to get yourself out of the business before you even get in the business, because you get a bad reputation.
Yep.
Right? Nobody will answer your phone call because you got a property under contract. You're like, man, you sent me 10 properties. I ain't answering. So, all right, Sam, you up, man?
Yeah, I appreciate this, man. Like I said, it's an honor getting both of y'all on here. I done talked to Jorie before on the lockout, man. My situation. I was telling you, and Tommy, I have a daughter in Cleveland, so I have a lot of time.
Hey, what up, Sam? We did talk.
What's going on? Yeah. I got a daughter in Cleveland, so I'm out there pretty frequently, and I'm trying to figure out the best way. Now, I understand you got to have people you trust. Now, that's not an issue for me, but my issue is these people are not qualified. You know what I'm saying? So they don't really know anything about it, but they all want to make some type of money. So what is the best way? How do you, how would you not qualify, but how would you help these people get ready? You know what I'm saying?
Got it. So the main thing, as far as the guy who's the boots on the ground, right, who's running your appointments, right?
Yeah.
Which is the main key. They don't have to be qualified, right? They don't need to talk to the seller about price, about repairs, about negotiations, anything, right? I have guys who they go there and they tell the seller they tell them, all I do is take pictures. I don't know nothing. They go there, they take the pictures, and then I'm gonna tell you the key. The sellers actually open up and tell them more stuff because they think they have no idea about real estate, right? And then they come back and tell me, yeah, he said he actually wanted this and this is messed up. The seller won't tell me that stuff because he knows I know, right? So you don't have to have someone who's super qualified for that job. They gotta be professional, right? You don't want to sit somebody in there, you know, smelling like weed, talking a bunch of crazy. They gotta be professional.
What's up?
They don't have to be dressed up. I mean, going there the way they are, but at least be able to walk in somebody's house where they feel comfortable, right? Take good pictures, you know, make some good notes, and then get that information back to you, and then you follow up. Because to be honest, I negotiate pretty much all my deals. In Michigan, I have seasoned investors who are my partners, right? So they can actually negotiate. In PA, my partners in PA, they're my friends who I just got into the business last August. They're as green as it gets. They don't negotiate anything, right? They go in there, take pictures, try to get the seller to say some stuff, and then I get that information, I call them back, and then I negotiate. And I close over the phone.
Wow. I'm still in that one.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that. Yeah, because that was my main concern. Because you know people, everybody want an opportunity to do something. Like even myself, and I was blessed with this opportunity. But you know, sometimes you got to start small, and you get intimidated thinking you have to know everything. You know what I'm saying? You know, analysis paralysis. You know what I mean? So that's where I was. So I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Hey, you don't have to do it again. If you get hung up on something, I mean, Tommy, this is great. You know, you're in here, ask him. I've talked to you before. Reach out. You know, anybody can hit me on Instagram. You know, I'll hit you back right away if I can. You know, reach out to people who actually willing to help, because that's one thing that I'm so blessed about, is to see so many people now. I've been doing this since 2007, and there wasn't that many people look like us doing it. I'll just be honest, right? I've always I be the only guy there, right? So anytime you guys need any help or any questions, any advice, man, hit us up. I'd be glad to help you out with anything, man.
All right, be careful now, Jorie. Them DMs.
Can I say something too?
Be hurting. Go ahead, Sam.
And you know, I ain't gonna talk too long, but like I had the blessed opportunity to listen to Jorie, and you know, he got a good woman in his corner too. And if a lot of us on here, if we in a relationship, you know, it's a big part when you got somebody in your corner pushing you. And he had the opportunity when he was on his down and out, he had somebody helping him or had his back. So that's very important too. So I admire that, and you know, everything that y'all doing, man. It's a teamwork thing, definitely a team. And that's it, man. I appreciate it, though. Serious.
Hey, that's the whole other story. I want some real relationship advice. I got plenty of that, but that's a whole nother Zoom call. But no, you're right. I am blessed to have a wonderful wife that's been able to push me, you know, and not leave me when times were low and we had no money. Because that happens in this game, believe me.
Yeah, man. Well, man, I really appreciate it, man. Number one, it's on Instagram. If you do want to do that, like you, Jorie, you open up, you said it. So you said it. You know, the Aulston Group, right? The Aulston Group, at the Aulston Group. And you can ask him questions. I think you're going to change your tune a little bit when you, because I don't even have a lot of followers compared to a lot of people. And man, it's like a full-time job. And people get mad at you for not answering. Like, they get mad at me for not answering their question.
And I agree. Bring a real question to me. I mean, look, Sean, I've talked to Sean before. He asked me some real questions. I answered back. People do ask me stupid stuff, and if you don't hear me, if I don't answer back, it's probably because you asked me something stupid. But you know, I also got a podcast too, guys. Shut Up and Invest. We got a podcast. You can follow us on YouTube. We got videos on YouTube, and
I didn't know that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Now, let me do that right now.
And we stream audio on all streaming platforms.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Shut Up and Invest. Okay, that's why he kept saying that.
I sent you the link today.
I know. I just saw the link. I didn't know that was the podcast. All right. So he's also, the other thing real quick, and is like I said, Jorie is putting together for us a course to virtually wholesale that goes into detail, because right, obviously we all know that there's some steps that are in between some of these things, right? Little micro steps that make a huge difference. And so if you realize that, you can really see how valuable this is. If this is something that you want to do, if you want to do virtual wholesaling. And so he's going to put a course together. We're working out the details on that. And man, hopefully, and here you go, Shut Up and Invest. Okay. So we're going to work out some details.
You got to come on, Tommy.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just let me know. Just let me know. I'd love to. All right, cool, man. Well, once again, I appreciate it. We're going to let you go. You're more than welcome to stay on, but I know you got things to do. And the other question.
The door.
Yeah. Other questions? We'll go ahead and keep this thing rolling, and we'll stay on here as long as everybody got questions. Well, I'll stay on here with you because I want to provide value for you guys. I want you guys to make some money.
Hey, Tommy, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, brother, man. Take care.
All right, guys.
All right. Give me 1 second because I can smell the pizza. See, here's the problem. The pizza's like right there. I just can't reach it right now. Give me 2 seconds. All right, hold on. Pizza. All right. Y'all know how I get, man, after a certain time. Y'all family, so it is what it is. We're gonna have to eat and do this at the same time. All right, Matt, let me lower your hand, man, and you are on.
Yo, bro, what up?
What up, man?
Hey, I'm trying to make this quick because I don't want to keep on here all night. Can you help me find 2 properties? I couldn't find them through Deal Machine. The numbers I got weren't working. Tried Skip Genie, didn't work. I tried another free service, didn't work. They're really good properties that I would like to try to press up on. And it so happens that they might be related to each other, and they're in the same block. If I'm not mistaken, they're right next to each other as well. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Skip Genie, but they give you relatives. So I try to find like the youngest relative, which was around like 40 years old, and Skip traced her and tried to give her a call. And I haven't got any contact back yet, but I do have the addresses if you could help.
Okay, so you need you're looking to skip trace the relatives?
Well, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, one lady, one of the house owners is like 9 years old, and the other one's like 60. So, what do you think?
Okay. Well, just statistically, one of them is probably no longer with us. She's probably in the upper room.
Yeah. usually Skip Genie is good with that, saying is deceased or not, and they didn't say it either. So I was like, okay, maybe let me not assume. You know?
All right. Well, let's see here. Let's see real quick. So while
if that's okay, you know, if you have the time.
Well, man, that's what we're here for, man. I promise you, man. Anybody I bring on this call, myself, has to give you more than what you paid for to be on this call. So we're gonna run into TLO real quick. What's the person's last name?
Last name?
Well, pizza sauce.
Reynolds. Copy that?
Reynolds, okay. That first name?
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Trice, yes, sir.
Okay. Does he have a middle name or a middle initial?
L.
L?
Yeah.
What's that address?
2376 Pine Street.
Okay.
Oviedo, Florida.
Spell that?
Let me spell that for you.
Yeah.
Oviedo.
OVID. What is it?
Oviedo.
E.
D as in Dave.
Okay.
You want the zip as well?
No, it's okay right now.
Yeah, that's all I figured.
Mm-hmm. So far, it looks like she's still with us. She has a PO box here. Are you looking for a phone number?
Yeah.
You got 100% hit right here. 407-365-7137.
Oh, let me write that down real quick. 407-365.
Mm-hmm. 713.
713.
7. That's a landline. You can tell she old. That she still got landlines.
Yeah.
All right. Who's one of the living relatives?
One of the living relatives is Sandra.
Right here.
Sandra A. Reynolds, and that's actually the other property that I want to get done as well.
Perfect. Here
I guess maybe they.
You got 86% match. This is a mobile, right here, and you got her address down here, or a couple addresses down here. There's 12 more, but you got. Just to be honest with you, probably these two. This landline still might be in use, but This one right here is a mobile. That one's a landline.
What do you think is a good way to tackle that then? If it's a landline, just call it up. I mean, there's no one living there. It's vacant for sure. So I couldn't even.
But this could be a landline of where she lives at, not necessarily the property that you're looking at.
I see what you're saying.
You write these numbers down? Did you write these numbers down?
I took a screenshot of that.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, man. Is that what you needed?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll let everyone, someone else take the floor right now.
All right, cool. We out here. Yeah, no problem, brother. All right, Hayden. Lower hand. Unmute. There you go.
Yo, what's happening?
What's up, man? What's up?
All right, so I had these two deals I wanted to talk about, but the other deal's gone now. So since I've been started doing this, I got this really unorthodox deal that I was not searching for. I had put out an ad on Craigslist, and a guy that called me, he's like the analytic boss, or like he runs analytics at this company, and they're trying to switch over from having their people rent in hotels because they want to save the money, and they want to rent rental houses and take over the leases, kind of like short-term leasing.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to find. He's already got things on the internet scrubbing for these types of things, right? But he was like, if I can find him these houses, we discussed a certain price, and I got him to sign a contract for a year that says if I find him any of these off-market, because they have to be off-market, you can't find them online, off-market rentals, then I get $800 per lease that he signs. But yeah, like every single one he gets in. But the problem is like anything that I can find online, he can find. So it's like I'm having a real hard time kind of fulfilling the order. But if I can fulfill it, he needs like 250 houses in Atlanta and 250 in Charlotte.
Yeah. So you're right. It's a little more difficult because even grandma and grandpa have Facebooks nowadays, right? So he's really hiring you to drive around the city to look for the for rent sign that's on the side of the house, right? That's essentially what you got to do. So that's because, like I said, even like the older people, they at least know they can put their thing on Zillow for free.
Yeah.
Right. So it's gonna be a lot of, that's essentially what's gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of
a bunch of driving around for the dollar.
Even if you find one that has the for rent sign, you got to check it because they probably would still be online somewhere.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been running into.
I check it before I give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Because you give it to him, he's like, "Oh no, it's online already," right?
And he's like, "Yeah, so I can't really fulfill our agreement because I already have the address in the pool," and like it was like kind of that kind of situation. But like it's understandable. I kind of felt like it was going to turn to that thing anyway. So I've actually got a few people in Atlanta driving around looking for signs and taking pictures and whatnot. So
nice. Right.
Other than that, I had one other question, which is kind of referred to what he did. I have this one specific property in Augusta, Georgia, that I have been looking at. I had my dad go out there and pretty much take pictures and everything, and it's been vacant for about 5+ years. And the lady's like 86. You know what I'm saying? But I used Deal Machine to get her name and her address. But I called it, and I've called it at least like 3 times so far out of all 3 numbers that she had up. And one kind of gives me her name at the end when it hits the voicemail, but I've never gotten a pickup. And like he said, I really want to get this property. I don't know what to do though.
It's that hip, man. She got that old hip, and she got the phone that's on the other side of the house. So
yeah.
No, but you might have to you might have to just pull up on her. You might have to knock on the door.
Yeah. Well, she's I'm sorry, it's a vacant house. She lives in
Where does she live at?
She's absentee. She lives in Oregon.
Oh, yeah, you ain't doing that.
Right, yeah. It says she's like a part of some medical union or something. So I'm like, oh, she probably is just holding the house. But it's been there. Broken window, everything.
So see if you can find any go to that neighborhood, and if you can find any other information. So what I'll do is I'll knock on the neighbors' doors, right? I'll knock on all the neighbors' doors to find out any information. Maybe she has a son or a daughter that you can get, that you have a better chance of getting in contact with,
Got you. Yeah, that'll work.
She's probably just looking at a phone number that she doesn't recognize. you know, I remember my grandparents, God bless them, when they were old, when they were alive, they set in their ways. Like when you get
Yeah.
old, you can stop caring about stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if someone answers calling you and you don't know the number, I ain't answering that.
Yeah, that's how my grandma is.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool,
Well,
man.
thank you.
No problem, man.
Uh,
All right, we're gonna answer these quick. Michael, what's up? Where you at, Mike? Did I lose you? Dang, I need to start unmuting first, because then as soon as I put your hand down, I don't see you anymore. Michael, you had a question? You're unmuted. You can talk. At least on my end, you're unmuted. Michael A. You're unmuted, Mike. I don't know if you're talking or not. I can't see you, so I can't tell whether or not you're talking, but we can't hear you. Something's wrong with your mic, I think. Mike. All right, we're gonna mute you back, man. If you could fix that back, let us know. Marcus. There you go. Unmuted you. Go ahead, Marcus. Marcus? Where you at?
Yo, can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Good.
Hey, yeah, I used Deal Machine for the first time this weekend, and that thing right there, man. I didn't realize how easy it was in terms of taking a photo and sending that postcard, so I definitely recommend it if you haven't used it yet. The one thing, though, if you sign up and use their regular promo code, which is offer, it gives you a certain amount of deal credits or whatever, and then I tried to go in afterwards and add the E2E promo code, but it let me. So I guess that's just a little word of advice. If you sign up, make sure you put the E2E.
Yeah, you get more sends if you do the ED cash, E2E cash.
Yeah. I wish I would have known that, but it's all good. Hey, I seen your story this morning on Instagram as far as your driving for dollars. For your goal was 50, and I was just curious. Do you use the same? Because I got a list. Of Cobb County properties as well as Cherokee County properties, like in Mableton, all the way to Kennesaw, Canton, and all that good stuff. But I was curious, when you do your driving for dollars, do you kind of use that same Zillow criteria where you just look for properties under the 50K? Because I mean, I got my list and I'm just kind of driving random neighborhoods.
Nah, bro. You're wasting time, man. Do what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I did this morning. And if it had been a little bit earlier up, I would have found more properties.
Right.
I would have, because I mean, if it had been a little bit later, excuse me, in the day, because in the beginning I couldn't see. It was kind of hard for me to. Sam, is that your hand up? Is that what you're doing? Okay, all right. So if it had been a little bit later, I would have found more properties. But yeah, it's really simple, man. I'm telling you, what I just did in live for you guys just now in Grand Rapids, Michigan, do that. Don't just watch this and then say, okay, I know it, but then don't do it. That's just dumb, right? Do it, and then you just literally pick an arbitrary one of those. All I did, this morning, I worked from where I was at. I was in Smyrna, so I was a little bit north of that area. So I picked the farthest north dot that was in that zip code, because I was looking. We have a buyer that's looking in a specific zip code. So I typed in the zip code. I went into there. I did that same trick that I just showed you just there. And I clicked the farthest north dot. So as I was coming from north to south, I hit that area first, and I just worked my way south until I had to go to my appointment at 9:30. Okay, so easy, man. Don't make this harder than what it is. Don't drive around wasting a whole bunch of money trying to find it. Go directly to the neighborhoods, and then you can be more efficient.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, Tommy, man. Thanks.
No problem, bro. Mo. Mo, you there? Where you at? Oh, there you go.
I'm unmuted now. I unmuted myself.
Cool.
So my question is, like, when I get done late at night from the hospital, let's say like tonight, like so I was just coming in the house when I jumped on the call, and it's already like after 8:30. What activities can I be doing like now? Like, cause I mean, like, I don't really want to call anybody like after like 8:30, 9 o'clock, or cause I mean, like.
You frozen? Hello?
No, I'm not frozen, but I mean like after like 8:30, 9 o'clock, like when outside of like calling like my my out of state owner, my out of state absentee like owners, like if they're like in a different time zone, is there anything else I could be doing?
Yeah. So you said it was, because I wrote it down, text magic, right?
Okay.
Calling someone and texting someone at different times of night, kind of a little different. We get a phone call at 9 o'clock at night. It's probably somebody I know, but I can get an arbitrary text message and it has like a random number, especially as much as I give out my number to everybody. So I would utilize text messaging, right? I would utilize text messaging. I would also prepare for the next day,
Yeah.
right? So what time do you start work? What time do you have to be in work?
I usually walk in the doors of the hospital at 7 a.m. and I leave the house usually between 6:15 and 6:30 every morning. And I'm there to like roughly 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so what are we doing at 7 o'clock? Why can't we call it 7 o'clock?
Oh, you talking about when I'm walking in the hospital? I walk in the doors at 7 a.m.
You're getting done with work at 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, yeah, that's like a small window, like that 1 little hour. It just seems like a.
Well, you're saying that you get in the house at 8:30, right?
No, let's say I get here at like 7. Like after that hour is done, and like after 8 o'clock, you don't really want to like make calls unless like you call like out of state, like different time zone.
So let's just look at it. If we do an hour a day essentially your drive home, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do an hour a day, and we go from 7 to 8. If we do that, and we can, let's say we put a goal. You put a goal that from 7 to 8, you're going to try to get at least go through 10 people, right? Because each person's going to have like 5 to 10 numbers, right?
Yes.
Right. So try to get through 10 people while you're doing that. So that's 10 people a day, times 5 working days, right? Because you're working 5 days a week.
Yep. Today is day 9 of 12, so I was on call this weekend.
All right, cool. So on a normal work, you're doing 5, so that's 50 people that you've gone through a list on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of a month, that's 200 people that you wouldn't have called because you're thinking so big, right?
Yeah.
And, oh man, I got to call for 4 hours. Okay, well, what about, let's work with the hour that we have available.
Yeah.
And it might take a little bit longer, but who knows? It might be the second person you call that you get a deal on.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't know. But I do know one thing: if you don't call anybody,
yeah, you're not.
Right? So short of changing your work schedule, stuff like that, there's nothing we can do about that. But let's just focus on the time that we do have.
Yeah.
So we don't just say, I don't have. I do that, right? It's no human nature. Like, everybody's doing 4 hours and I only got 3. Well, okay, well, I'm gonna work with the 3.
Okay.
Right. And then weekends. I would really hit weekends as well.
Yeah, that's when I've been like hitting like most of my time is like on weekends.
Yeah, well, you got to make it work, man.
I'm making it work. I'm making it do what it do.
For sure. All right, man. Ryan, where you at, Ryan?
Gotcha.
And then I think Sam, you're after. I think you're after him, Sam. Where'd you go, Ryan?
Hey, so yeah, I came across a property. I was actually out towards the Canton side, and I came across a piece of property and reached out to the guy, and everything seemed good. But when I called him and then went out there by it and then looked at it. It's actually he had already torn the house down, so it turned out to be just land. So just a strip of land is out there. So I'm going around back and forth, and I'm trying to find out exactly. There's not any type of formula to really that I've seen to figure out what the cost of that land should be. So I had a realtor pull it up, and I saw the numbers that were on there. I looked at the address, looked at land that just sold. There's a big plot of land, like 23 acres that sold for like 1.2 million. There's another 24 acres that sold for less than 50,000. So the question is number one is, how far back should we go if we look at that? Because since it's being land, that area is up and coming, but it's since there's, I think the most recent was like last month, and then how far can we go back? Because I saw some land that was out there that sold back in like 2016 to 2017. So just trying to get a rough estimate of how to go about doing that. Because what happened is going through all that stuff. I had an appointment set with him. I had to cancel it for two reasons. Number one, I didn't have the numbers, and number two, of course, the 9 to 5 kind of they threw a meeting in on me and locked me up at that time. So so I can get to him. I talked to him. He's ready to talk, but
let me answer this real quick. So so with land, everybody understand this, right? With land, it's going to largely depend on the amount of land, the quality of the land, and what the land is zoned for. Like that's going to really determine the value of it, right? Because if I have a acre of land in a residential neighborhood with a certain amount of density, I want everybody to picture a nice B-class neighborhood, okay, but they're spread out a little bit. It's a little bit farther out from the city, and it's an acre of land. Each house is on an acre plot, okay? Now, you're gonna in your mind, you're okay, we're in a residential type of a neighborhood where each house has an acre plot. Now I just got to figure out how much does it cost for me to build a house from the ground up. I think it was last week, maybe, I can't remember. I told everybody you need to find out how much does it cost per square foot to build a house. But so that's an acre land somewhere out in like a B-class neighborhood. Whatever neighborhood pops into your head, think about that. Now think of taking half of that, a half of acre, and put that right in the smack dab in the middle of the city and see how the price could skyrocket, right? So depending on what where the land is zoned for, right, and where it's at, that's largely going to be able to determine the price point for usage, right? If it's zoned commercial and we can, it's zoned commercial and it's on the corner of a main strip, and on a corner of a main area, and Chick-fil-A wants to put a restaurant there, that's going to be worth a lot more than that same area in a residential neighborhood where they can only sell a house for $400,000, right? So how big is the land? What's the quality of it? Meaning, man, do we have to come in there and cut down a whole bunch of trees? Is it on the side of a mountain where we're going to have to do grading and all that stuff? Because that's going to affect the price. So what's the quality of the land? And then how big is the land? So what are those, do you know the answer to those questions, I should say?
Yeah, it's there was a house there and it's been torn down over the last 8 months. So there is some trees that are there. It's a little over 2 acres of land and it is still zoned for residential.
Still zoned for residential. So it's most likely going to go back to residential, right?
Yeah.
That's the easiest one. Find out in your neighborhood what are houses selling for. Then find out how much do they sell, how much does it cost to build on that land, price per square foot. And then just figure out if I need to make this new house that I'm going to build on this neighborhood comparable to all the ones that are in the neighborhood, where do I need to be at on price so it makes sense for me as a wholesaler? I'm pretty sure I was last coaching call, I can't remember. If it's $100 a square foot to build a house, and you see in the neighborhood all the houses are 1,000 square feet, and all the houses are selling for like $180,000, but they're 1,000 square foot homes. So I know if I build a $1,000 square foot home, and it costs me $100 a square foot to build, well, I take $100 times 1,000. That's going to cost me $100,000. Now there's going to be some other costs with zoning and all those other things, right? But I'm probably going to spend about $115,000. Now, if I look at it and all the other houses are selling at 180, that might be a good deal, right? So it's really simple. You just got to find out how much we got to go to a developer and say, how much does it cost price per square foot to build a brand new home from the ground up? And that's easy. The commercial stuff is a little more difficult because you have to go into evaluations and you have to understand what type of business is going to go there, how much money they can spend, how much money they can projected profits, how much capital they're going to have to expend to get to the projected profits. So it's a lot more complicated. Residential simple though.
All right, appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. Sam. I got Sam because he had his hand up. We got to teach you how to put the virtual hand up, man.
Well, I'm on my computer. I'm on my computer right now, not on my cell phone. If I was on my cell phone, I would have put it on there. This is like when the brother was talking earlier about the deal machine app, and I found out the hard way. You know, every time, you know, because sometimes you driving through a neighborhood and you just checking a house, and every house is not qualified. As you see somebody, you know, owner occupied or so on and so forth. But if you don't go in the settings and let it know, don't send mail, sometimes it'll just send the mail automatically because it assumes everything that you put in there is a deal.
So that should not happen to anybody in this course, because in the course, I go over deal machine, and I go over the settings. So I'm glad you brought it up. So if you're brand new and you got into the course within a couple, you know, last week or so, right? Go make sure you, before you get deal machine, go through that settings portion, because your settings, by default, it comes different ways, but you want to have your reoccurring every 30 days for no more than 5 months, because every time it's charge you 99 cents for that postcard, right? Every single time. And it sounds like, oh, I'm just doing, 20 postcards today. Like today I did 26 postcards, right? But those same 26 will be getting remailed next month, along with the ones that I found from the month before and the month before that and the month before that. So when I look at my bill, it's a pretty high bill, right? Just don't fall into that. Make sure that you invest comfortably for what you can spend. But yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, man, because that can help some people for sure.
Now, somebody also, I heard you can validate that. I was listening, and I don't mean to talk about nobody else on here, but I was listening to I think it was Dedrick, Polite. He was saying that he was saying something about the average touches for them is like 9 to 12 pieces of mail. Like they usually don't hit until around that time. So, the first 6 or 7 times you might not get nothing. You know what I mean? It's just you got to be consistent with it. So also, you said 6 times. So sometimes you might have to go more than that.
Yep. So Dedrick, I was on the phone right there with Dedrick right before the call, right? I says, Dedrick, Polite, real number, because he gave me the throwdown joint. He was treating me like a side piece. So Dedrick, he married into my family. So, I have nothing but respect for them, him and Crystal. Crystal's my cousin. And so, but that's true. It's 7 to 10 touches is what it normally takes during the way that they do it. And they do a lot of direct mail, right, through Deal Machine and through that system. When you're talking with someone, you're still doing 7 to 10 touches, except for you're doing it probably over the course of a 30-minute phone call, right? You're just using your building rapport with them, so you don't have to call them 10 times for them to have a good feeling about you, right? So you're just kind of cramming all that into a phone call to condense for time, but it costs time and money to get them on the phone as well. So there's pluses and minuses, right? It's the way they do things and the way I do things, and however you want to do it, right? But yeah, you're right. It does take on mail. It does take quite a bit. All right, Mike, I got you on mute, and let's try it.
I'm good now. You can hear me?
There we go.
All right. Yeah. A modular home. Do those hold their value? Are those worth wholesaling?
Yeah, everything is worth wholesaling if the price is right.
Okay.
Okay.
And let me ask you this. I remember when you were doing the contract thing, the guy that called me is the son of the lady, and she's basically on her deathbed, and he's the kid that stays there.
So hold up. Say that part again.
He's not a kid. He's a grown man. He's 33. He's her son.
Start over though. You start over what you said in the beginning.
The lady, the actual owner, she's on her deathbed at the hospital.
Okay.
So the son called me.
Okay.
And I met with him.
Got it.
Today, literally just before the call. And is there something I need to do since she's on her death? Because I remember when you was going over the contracts, it was something that if they're under the arrest, or I forgot what you said, but.
So, okay, I see what you're saying. So as long as she can still think clearly, right? You can't, he can't put a pen in her hand and write for her, right? As long as she can think clearly, Because if I think about it, I'm a father, right? And if I'm on my deathbed, it just is what it is. I'm dying, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, before I leave this earth, how can I help my family out? And if I got these properties, I want to be able to do whatever I can because I got no use for them now. I'm about to die, right? As grim as that sounds, it just is what it is. Like I've been around death enough that it doesn't bother me to talk about it like that, but it's the truth, right? So as long as I can think clearly, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? They can sign it, right? And say, listen, I have no use for these properties. I know if I die if I die now, the way it is, they got to go through this long drawn out process. I want them to have the property. No big deal, right? But if she can't think clearly, then unfortunately you're going to have to, he's going to have to get a power of attorney, and they're going to have to try to figure out that system to get that ahead of time before he can sign on her behalf.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
You mind running it for me so we can show it on here?
Running what?
Like the comps that, like, if it's worth it.
Running the comps on the property?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it real quick. Where's my, there it is. All right. What's the address?
It's 2443 Stone Street Extension in Mebane, North Carolina.
Oh, Mebane. That's where that's where my family's from, man.
Really?
That's how me and Crystal realized we were cousins, because there's not too many Holts, that live in Mebane that aren't cousins. So anyway, so this is the property. There's nothing there.
Nah, yeah, that's what I thought too until I actually pulled up.
Okay.
It is a modular home there, and it might need $30,000 to $40,000 in repairs.
Okay, real quick.
Depending on who does it.
I'm gonna do this real quick with you guys, okay? So what I need right here is obviously I'm gonna put an S with a circle around it with the address 2443 Stone Street, right? Just so I can keep track of my notes. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the bedroom bath configuration, 3-bedroom, 2-bath at 1,323 square feet. All right, that's what I need from this. Now I'm gonna X out of this, and I'm gonna see what else I need. I need to go here and make sure all my settings are correct. So take off this. I just want sold. I want to go from any to any. I want to go from, I don't care about bedrooms. I want any on the bedrooms. These are houses, multifamily, lots of townhouses. Manufactured, boom, done. This is any, and we're going to do last 6 months and hit done. Okay, so now I see this one right here, went for 45. I'm gonna click on that. All right, so this is going to be my number one. So I'm putting a number one. I'm putting 2449 Stone Street, and this is the same zip. So it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,218 square feet. It's sold on 6/5/2019 for $45,000. Right now, I'm gonna take my calculator out. I'm gonna go ahead and type in $45,000 divided by 1,218 square feet. That gives me a price per square foot. I'm writing it down right here, $36.94. And I'm off to the next one. So let me see here. Let's see if I can find another one that's close. Because remember, our subject property is right there. So let's move out. All right. We got one over here. This doesn't look like it's modular at the price point. Yep, it's not. We got one right here. That's probably not modular. Come on. Just looking at the price point, that's not a modular home. Okay, let's open this up. So I need to get some other data point. Let's see what's down here. 220/66 might be modular. Sometimes it'll say here, 3 bedrooms. Nope, not a modular. Boom. Look at all these price points. Probably none of these other ones are modular homes. So I'm going to zoom back in.
Oh yeah, that little area right there is brand new builds.
Okay, no problem. So I'm going to zoom back in. I see this house right here is probably, this is a modular home. This is probably a modular home. This is probably a modular home. Let's just see. what it looks like if it ever clicks on it. Let's try that one maybe. That is not a modular home. Let's see. This is a modular home. Okay. This thing's always in the way. Gosh, it's in the way again. Hold on, let me make this smaller. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. We gotta find the history on this one. So sometimes it'll have you, where's it at? The history of the property. So what I want you to do is write down this address, 2462. I'll put this as my number 2, 2462 Stone Street Extension. So same side. And we need to find out when this one sold for. Oh, it says right here. I'm sorry, it was right in front of my face. So this is the same house that's right here. So sold for on 7/13/2018 at $150,000. Okay. So and that's, why isn't it telling me the bedroom bath config? 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It sold at 1,728, $150,000. And let's see what that is on the price per square foot model. 150 divided by 1,728 is $86.80 per square foot. On to my next one, okay? We're using this because there's no other data. Where did it go? There's no other data to pull from, okay? Close this out, and let's find one more. Why? What's the address again, man?
2443 Stone Street Extension.
All right. Why is it? I don't know why it's not doing it now. 2443 Stone Street Extension. I don't know why it's not giving us the house anymore. There we go. All right. And let's look at maybe this one. No, that's, I'm sorry, that's the same one. 2433. I can't tell if that's modular from this. Oh, it is. It's manufactured home. So you can either tell by the pictures or just look at it. So this one, look at this price history. It's sold. This one sold. Oh, it sold in 1985. So you're not gonna be able to use this one. Okay, that one's too old. So not gonna be able to use that one. So you're gonna do this again, man. Just follow this, but you get the point, right? Just find enough.
Got you.
This. So I'm gonna do it just off of these two. Ideally, you want to have 3, but I want to spend the whole night doing this. So plus, so I got $86.80 plus $36.94 times. I'm sorry, equals. Man, I messed that up. 86.80 plus 36.94 equals 123.74 divided by 2, 61.87. Okay, you really do need to find another one to zone in on that property, right? And then I'm going to times that times 1,323 square feet, $81,854. Now, what I want you to do is, if you go into that neighborhood, if you can drive into that neighborhood, you want to see the difference between this property right here, what it looked like, versus the one that was 150, right? Because it's a huge difference. I think it was 150, right? Huge difference in finish, probably. So if we see that this property sold at 45 because it was trashed, right? And we can't use that, right? We can't use that with this model. We can use it as a baseline of where we need to put our pricing at, okay? Because this one's 1,218 square feet, and your subject property is 1,323 square feet. This one right here. So if this one's trash and this one's trash, I know that the bigger property on bigger piece of land should at least sell for 45. So if I can get my seller down to 35, I can sell it at 45 and make 10,000. You see how I'm doing that math? But if this one sold at 45 and it was completely remodeled and it looked great, then we really need to understand that the other one that sold for 150 must be in a completely different class of neighborhood.
Okay.
Right.
Got you.
Right.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, everybody. Real quick before everybody we finish this, I'll make an announcement. I should have did it earlier. I forgot. I should have did it when we had more people on it. So I'll just keep making the announcements. I want you guys to get ready. Put a couple dollars aside. Okay. Put a couple dollars aside. I'm trying to put something together. I'm trying to do it as inexpensively as possible. Okay. I'm just seeing that thing. She said, I'm hungry. I want pizza too. So next August, I think it's the last weekend in August or second to last weekend in August. I'm tired of going to real estate conventions and doing these things and really not like just going for the convention and not really be able to enjoy myself. So my man who's on the call right now, Sean, went to Dominican Republic, had a good time. And I thought, man, this would be pretty cool because it was all inclusive. We kind of did a package deal. We had a good amount of people that showed, so we got a good price. And we're talking about probably, if you want a single room, you're talking about the real estate, all inclusive for 5 days, 4 nights. It's going to be somewhere around $1,200 to $1,300. Okay. But you're going to be able to do, put some money down and do payments of somewhere anywhere between $100 to $150 a month. All right. But you'll be able to do that. It'll be 2 days. We're going to be talking about going to depth on short-term rentals on one day, and then really go into like a in-depth, set your business up so you're running a wholesale business, not just learning how to wholesale a property. All right. And I might try to get some people in there to come in there and teach some other things, like some private money lending and those type of things, right? But I think the cool thing about it is that it's also going to be vacation because we're going to have fun. When we were out there in Dominican Republic, we went on to we did the dune buggy tours, and so we're going to have some fun after it. We're all going to be there. It'd be cool to get together with some of these people that are all across the country and be able to kind of see each other face to face and have just real conversations. So we'll have the real estate portion during the day where we're going to take care of business, and after that, we're going to have some things where we get together. It'll be food involved. And it's going to be a vacation. So you can literally, if you want to bring your family, you can bring your family. Actually, no, I can't. I shouldn't say that because I think the resort we're going to is an adults only resort. So it can either just be yourself or it could be you and a significant other or whatever. Plus, if you want to share rooms with people, the price goes down dramatically. You're probably talking about spending about a total of like $800 for everything. So it's the price is like is ridiculous. But we need to have, I think we need to have like 20 people that are looking to do it. So we're working on the numbers on the deposit, and then it's literally going to just, if you want to pay it all up front, cool. If you want to pay, on a monthly basis, it'll be somewhere between $90 a month to somewhere around $150, just depending on what size room you get. And if you're going by yourself, and if you want to swim out, I'll tell you, that swim out will change your life. That swim out will change your life, how you walking different, thinking different, right? So that's what's coming up, right? So we're going to get some solid numbers. I just got the numbers back for the convention space. We're not doing this. It's not going to be something where we have 100 people, right? It's going to be like a smaller, intimate group because I want to be able to pour and ask and be able to answer questions. And when you have a room of 500 people, you can't really do that. Like I've been on that side, and then you got a line of you're sitting in line to ask a question for 2 hours, right? So I want it to be a little bit more intimate than that. So just put that little bug in your ear. I haven't even marketed it on Instagram or anything like that. I know once I market on that, we're going to have at least 20 people to do that for sure. But I want to give our group opportunity first to at least hear it. And if that's something that you'd be interested in, just go ahead and just put like a 1 in the chat or something like that. So I kind of know, I can just kind of gauge. It would help me out. Whether or not you want to do it, or, if you don't want to do it, cool. But if it's something you're interested in, let me know so I can start like, putting some real effort to getting this thing done. All right, cool. Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. We're gonna have a good time. Go on vacation. It's 5 days, 4 nights. We're only taking up 2 days of talking real estate. The other time it's gonna be, we'll do little meetups and things like that. But we're gonna enjoy ourselves because we're gonna work hard from now until then, and it's gonna be a time for us to enjoy ourselves as well. All right, that's it for me. Andre, do me a favor. Gunny, hit me up, man. I need to get you on my podcast, on my YouTube channel, because you got your first deal, and I need to interview you. All right, so hit me up, man, and we'll go from there. All right, family. It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes. I love you. I'm tired though. All right, and my voice is gone. So I love you guys, man, and let's go out there and kill it, man. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our families. Let's make some money. Let's change some lives. All right, peace.